alongside meteorologist Jerry Steffen. We hope you had a great weekend. Weather was nice.
A little bit on the hot side. We hit 3 record temperatures over the past week, and we're going to see the numbers move down a little bit. So mild temperatures in our future. Upper 70s. I think you'll like that. That's coming up very soon.
Wow, look at that view.
Yeah, we have a front moving through Southern California. It'll kick up the winds a little later on today. We'll look at that as well, what it means for us in the valley, and a whole lot more.
Okay, I can't wait to see you in a bit. Thanks, Jerry. Our top story this morning, authorities continue to investigate a fatal shooting in Palm Springs that killed 2 people and injured 3 others over the weekend. It happened overnight Saturday off North Indian Canyon Drive. Officers with Palm Springs police found 2 unidentified adult victims with gunshot wounds who both died after being transported to an area hospital. Investigators say a motorcycle club was hosting a private event at an industrial complex when an altercation broke out, leading to gunfire.
We spent most of the evening and into the latter part of today collecting evidence at the scene. Where there's still the location that we're processing for evidence, and as you can see in the back, that we're trying to collect some of the vehicles that we're securing as evidence. We're just seeking the public's help, so if they have any information related to this incident, we ask that they contact the Palm Springs Police Department, or they could report that anonymous lead through 760-341-STOP.
3 other people suffered non-life-threatening gunshot wounds and were transported to a hospital for treatment. At this time, detectives are working to determine the circumstances surrounding the shooting and identify those involved. Anyone with information is asked to call the number you see right here on your screen. A free healthcare clinic wrapped up in Indio this weekend, serving thousands of Coachella Valley residents. California Care Force hosted its 17th annual healthcare clinic at the Empire Polo Grounds in Indio. It started on Friday and ended Sunday. The event was in partnership with Golden Voice, where services including dental, vision, and medical services were provided. Officials say more than 3,500 people attended this weekend. Meanwhile, hundreds gathered for the 8th annual Run Walk for Kids event on behalf of the Desi Strong Foundation in Rancho Mirage on Saturday. Participants got up bright and early at Rancho Mirage Community Park for the family-friendly event, which included a 5K and helps raise funds for the Desi Strong Foundation, whose goal is to help Valley residents afford the care they need in the fight against pediatric cancer and other serious illnesses. Last night, actually on Saturday night, the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens held their annual Zoobilee. It's one of the zoo's largest fundraising events of the season, with tickets to the event and funds raised through auctions. Saturday night, going towards the zoo and its mission to protect and tell the stories of some of the world's most endangered species. And I had the privilege to MC the event, and it was absolutely wonderful. One of the biggest Pride events of the season is coming to Cathedral City this week. The LGBTQ+ Days Festival is coming this weekend, March 6th through the 8th. Volunteers spent last weekend refreshing the Rainbow Crossing in front of City Hall in anticipation. This is the 10th annual Cathedral City LGBTQ+ Days Festival, which includes a massive rally, the raising of the Pride flag at City Hall, a drone show, and the famous bed races.
Painting our crosswalk is a visible demonstration of inclusivity in Cathedral City, and when other cities and states are painting over their rainbow crosswalks, we can proudly paint ours and declare our pride and our inclusivity for everybody in Cathedral City all year long.
LGBTQ+ Days runs from March 6th through the 8th. We'll have more leading up to the festivities throughout the week as the event gets underway, so stay tuned for that. The BNP Paribas Open is underway at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The 2-week tournament started yesterday with a women's qualifying event. The men's qualifying starts this morning, with the first round of tournament play expected on Wednesday. We'll have more coverage of the event coming up this week, so stay tuned. And later in our broadcast, our Know Before You Go traffic expert Chris Gunterson will break down everything you need to know if you are traveling through Indian Wells during the tournament for the next couple of weeks. A nonprofit is celebrating 26 years of serving our community. Paws and Hearts, an animal-assisted therapy program that brings trained dogs into health centers across the Coachella Valley. Our NBC Palm Springs Kai Beach has a story.
If you love dogs and you can no longer take care of one and you're bedbound,
dealing with medical challenges isn't easy, but Richard Waxman and his dog Terry
he actually trains the new volunteers.
are turning compassion into action. Waxman founded the nonprofit Paws and Hearts in 2000. Since then, it's grown into a valley-wide animal-assisted therapy program with trained handlers and their dogs visiting patients to bring comfort, connection, and joy when it's needed most.
We were on a visit last week, and a dear old woman said to me, "You made my day." It makes everything we do and all the volunteers we've had, it makes it worth our while.
Now this nonprofit is looking for more volunteers, people like Sandy Young.
It's just a really good way to connect with people and to bring some joy into their lives, I think. It's good for bonding with your dog.
Who says this experience has been life-changing for both patients and the volunteers who serve them.
People tell me how grateful they are, how it's made their day. I had one woman say, "You made my waiting today bearable." So, you know, those things warm my heart and make my day.
To learn more, visit their website and discover how you and your dog can make a difference.
It makes them feel as though they've accomplished something. It makes them feel as though we've given back to the community. It makes us feel as though our time to get there and to put the dog in the bandana, to put the volunteer shirt on, it just makes it all worthwhile.
I'm Kai Beach with NBC Palm Springs.
Here's a live look now from our Agua Caliente Casino camera in Palm Springs. Jerry, it is absolutely gorgeous sunrise out there this morning.
Very nice outside right now. Comfortable temperatures, but it's still going to be above normal with the numbers. Not as bad over the weekend, though. 67 degrees in Palm Springs. Winds calm at the moment and 43% relative humidity. Checking the temps for you. 40s up at the mountains at Big Bear. 58 degrees. Yucca Valley, 61 degrees at 29 Palms, partly cloudy skies, 73 at Desert Hot Springs, 69 degrees at Indio, 71 Coachella, and San Gorgonio Pass, 58 degrees at Banning, 64 at Cabazon at this hour. As far as radar, nothing happening over the southwest despite a frontal boundary moving through the area. The surface moisture is very dry, so we're not going to see any precipitation as this wave makes its way through, but we have a lot of high clouds moving through the area. We're seeing some of that right now. So the frontal boundary will begin to dissipate as it makes its way to the east later today, but it will kick up the winds a little later on this afternoon, and we'll talk more about that in the full forecast. Dew points around the 30-degree mark by the middle of the afternoon with teens for relative humidity. 87 degrees, about 10 degrees above normal for Palm Springs today. Likewise, Indio, Rancho Mirage, 88 at La Quinta. Got 81 degrees for high at Desert Hot Springs. More of the same tomorrow with all sunshine and a few high clouds on Wednesday. And still temperatures in the middle 80s, putting us again about 10 degrees above normal. But after Wednesday, some more changes head our way. I'll explain full forecast and that 7-day this half hour.
All right, Jerry, thanks. In the escalating fallout from the U.S. and Israeli airstrikes against Iran, the Iranians are retaliating, hitting Israel and U.S. military bases across the region. Congress returns tomorrow with many lawmakers calling for a vote to force President Trump to get Congress's approval before any further military action. NBC's Alice Barr has details now from Washington.
This morning, the Pentagon confirming 3 U.S. Air Force fighter jets crashed in Kuwait, mistakenly shot down by Kuwaiti air defenses during active combat under Iranian attacks. All 6 American crew members ejected and were recovered safely. It comes amid growing violence in the Middle East, with Israel and Iranian-backed Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon exchanging fire, following this weekend's U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran.
Mr. President, who do you want to lead Iran?
President Trump is back in Washington, lawmakers returning tomorrow for the classified briefings many are pressing for.
Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved.
Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in the Saturday strikes, and now two sources briefed on the matter tell NBC News the attacks were timed based on intelligence. Khamenei would be at a meeting with senior leaders. As Iran strikes back, 3 American service members are confirmed killed in action. U.S. officials tell NBC News they were part of an army unit based in Kuwait. 5 others were seriously wounded. President Trump mourning the losses while warning.
And sadly, there will likely be more.
The president told NBC News in a phone interview he decided to act because Iran was unwilling to say they would not have a nuclear weapon following weeks of negotiations. Reaction from Capitol Hill largely split on party lines.
I think the president has started a war of choice. There was no imminent threat to the United States.
The largest state sponsor of terrorism, Iran, is close to collapsing.
Across this country, Iranian Americans hoping for freedom, while protesters fear a spreading conflict. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, early Monday morning, people of Beirut, Lebanon, fled to the suburbs as Israel launched a series of strikes at the country. Those strikes were in retaliation to missiles fired into Israel by Hezbollah, the Lebanese militant group. An Israeli military spokesperson issued an urgent warning for residents across Lebanon to evacuate ahead of possible strikes, leading to hundreds of people leaving for the suburbs in vehicles and even on foot. The country is still recovering after the last Israel-Hezbollah war, which ended in November of 2024 after a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal. Well, the attacks in the Middle East have canceled many flights to that region. At the San Francisco International Airport, flights to or through the Middle East have been canceled or rerouted. The airport told NBC Bay Area that Qatar Airlines and Emirates flights were canceled, while certain flights with Air India were being rerouted. An airline analyst says those rerouted flights could lead to longer flight times for those trying to get to surrounding areas. Flights traveling to other parts of the world seem to be taking off as scheduled. Iranian Americans have taken to the streets in cities across the country to call for Iranian freedom. This is video from a demonstration in Los Angeles on Sunday. Thousands gathering near the federal building in Westwood, marching with a giant Iranian flag. Organizers with the group Answer, that's Act Now to Stop War and End Racism, have designated today, Monday, as a national day of action, with demonstrations scheduled in at least 33 cities following a series of emergency rallies. Well, coming up on your morning news, we sit down with internationally acclaimed psychic intuitive medium Shar Margolis to talk about her new book, You Are Psychic. And later, CV Sync traffic manager Chris Gunterson joins us to talk about all the road closures and congestions you need to know about before you head out the door this morning. This is a live look from our Agua Caliente casino camera in Rancho Mirage. What a gorgeous start to this Monday morning. Jerry's going to break down your full 7-day forecast as we head into the week. That's straight ahead.
NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the deal guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 6.
She's an internationally acclaimed psychic intuitive medium who has captivated audiences around the world with her ability to connect to the other side. You may have seen her sharing her remarkable insights on Live with Kelly and Mark, or Dr. Oz, or maybe even Dr. Phil. She's spent years helping people better understand intuition, spirituality, and life after death. Joining us today is best-selling author, podcast host, and medium Shar Margolis. Welcome. It's so good to see you.
I'm so happy to be here. I watch you guys in the morning when I'm in Palm Springs.
Fun. Yes, you have a place down here.
I do. I do.
Great. And you're sharing your time from here, between here and Michigan.
Where I live in the town right next to where I grew up.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I still have friends from junior, kindergarten even.
Well, it's so nice to have you in town.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Your book, You Are Psychic. I mean, that's a really intriguing title. Tell me what this book is about and how you came up with this.
Okay. I know that everyone has intuition and psychic abilities. Some people have it stronger than others, but animals have instinct. People have intuition. It's a sixth sense. And when you learn to understand it and you get those signs and feelings about it, it's really another way of guiding ourselves. We're all guided. We all have guardian angels and spirit guides that walk with us.
I feel that in my life personally. I've seen it physically occurring, and I see it a lot on a daily basis. What are some of the signs you suggest people be aware of?
The way I have noticed that most people learn about their intuition is when they get a gut feeling about something. Maybe it's a romance, maybe it's a business deal, maybe it's a friendship, and you get this weird feeling, don't trust it.
Is it like a twinge? Does it come from here? Is this what we're listening to?
Everybody's different. It's a feeling, it's a thought. It just depends on what your connection is. And we all need to learn what that connection is, because everybody's a little different. But anyway, you get that feeling not to trust them. But then you start talking and you have things in common, and so you start being friendly with them or whatever, and then it turns out that it's not good.
Like, your brain
gets in the way, your logic gets in the way, and you suffer the consequences.
Got it.
So the most important thing and the hardest thing is to act upon it.
Is there an exercise that we can do at home that we can, because when you practice something, you get better at it. Where you focus on expands, right?
Right.
So is there an exercise folks can do at home
like a
to
muscle.
become more psychic?
Yeah, the more you use it, the stronger the muscle gets. Well, it's remembering that time where you didn't listen to your gut and you suffered the consequences, or that time that you did listen and great things, doors opened up for you.
I'm very excited to read your book, You Are Psychic.
Oh, you mean I'm not going to read for you?
You're not going to read for me? Oh my gosh. Oh, that would be amazing. How does that even work?
Well, so you just need to be open-minded about everybody living and deceased. Thoughts come in my head and they're fast, and I have to put, I hear phonetically, so I put sounds together and whatever. But I am getting an M initial deceased. Do you have a family member that's an M or an A deceased, like a grandmother or?
Marjorie.
Marjorie, don't say names. I would have gotten that.
Sorry.
That's okay. So it's MA. Marjorie. So I feel like her spirit's around you.
I felt her my whole life.
And so she loves you. And love There's nothing more important in life than love. Love is the bridge that connects us to the other side.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you.
Oh, it's
Thank
my
you,
honor.
Shar.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
I love
good to see
meeting you.
Thank you. Likewise. I really appreciate you being here with us.
I'm honored to be here. I'm telling you, I watched the show.
I love that. I love it.
I love Thalia, and I love Jerry, and I love you. It's like great.
Oh, that's so great. Thank you. I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And we'll be right back.
Original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the Deal Guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Be sure not to miss anything. If you're only watching us on TV, you're only getting part of the story. Head to our new website for the latest broadcasts, digital exclusive content, contests, and more. Go to NBCPalmSprings.com. Miss the news.
Yeah, sun is up. Take a look at the Walter Clark 111 cam. Beautiful shot there. We have some clouds, fair weather high clouds that'll move through because a front is moving through Southern California. Yesterday, record high temps over the Southwest, including Palm Springs, hitting a high of 95, besting the old record set back in 2022 of 93. Our average temp mid to upper 70s this time of year, and we're going to be above that over the next couple of days. And speaking of record high temps, we had 2 last month, so 3 over the past week. We had very warm weather. Looking at the last month of February, 20 of those days were above normal. You can see a week of below normal numbers, third week of February. But we're going to be above normal before they begin to back off later this week. So we'll have a little bit of fluctuation with these numbers. Right now, we have 71 degrees in Thousand Palms, 72 at Desert Hot Springs, a cooler temp of 63 at Palm Springs. Winds, not all that bad, but they will pick up out of the west because of a frontal boundary moving through the area. And we're looking at some clouds. Again, dry at the surface over the Coachella Valley area, so no rain. But we will see some bands of high clouds moving through the area, all fair weather clouds. Nothing in radar over the southwest to look at. We have that front moving through the area. Onshore winds do pick up a little later on today, and temps still remain above normal. Not 90s, most of us upper 80s today with that system moving through. The ensemble forecast keeps all the rain well to the north of us. We stay dry here, but winds a little gusty in certain areas like the San Gorgonio Pass, getting low 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds later today. The rest of us in the 20s. As winds begin to pick up out of the west. And surface moisture remains dry for the most part. We're looking at relative humidity close to 10%, probably the teens through most of this week. Okay, 87 degrees for most of us for highs today, under bands of high clouds. Filtered sunshine this afternoon. Overnight lows in the 50s this evening, which is slightly above normal numbers. Tuesday, we get a wind shift that'll be out of the northeast in the back end of a system that's exiting the area, but lots of sunshine to go with those mid to upper 80-degree temps on Tuesday, and then upper 80s again on Wednesday with a few high clouds. Things change a little bit on Thursday. We have a trough of low pressure moving through the area. We'll get winds out of the west first, and then on the back end of that out of the northeast, but still above normal numbers, but still in the upper 70s, a little lower than they have been. We'll take that. Same for Friday, upper 70s, likewise Saturday. Hashtag Holiday Calendar and Pop Quiz brought to you by One Coachella Valley. We're going to check the calendar and see what's happening today, Monday, March 2nd, 2026. It's Read Across America Day, also known as Dr. Seuss Day. It's on the birthday of Dr. Seuss, who was born on this date, 1904, but it's a good day to maybe read to your child. You used to do that when you were...
I still do it.
You still do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I find it to be relaxing for not only me, but my daughter, too.
Did you hear about women that are pregnant that read to their children before they're actually born?
Really?
Yes.
I used to sing and put music on my belly.
No
and
kidding.
she really loves to sing, and she loves music.
There you go.
Yeah.
Also, fun facts about Names Day. Most names have a meaning or a story behind them. If you can still do it, ask your parents how they came up with your name. Why did they decide on Mary? Do you know why?
Yes, for my father's mother and the Mary up there, the Virgin Mary. They kind of all combined it. What about you, Jerry?
Well, my parents followed the Grateful Dead all over the country. They were hippies themselves.
Really?
They hung out at Haight-Ashbury, and I'm named after Jerry Garcia.
Are you really?
No, not really.
Oh, I was going to say, I've never heard this before until right now.
Well, we'll say that.
That was
though,
a good one.
Thank
I like it.
you very much. Do you believe me?
I did.
National Old Stuff Day is today. It's a day to clear out all the clutter in your life, both mentally and physically. Old is our key. There's a dumpster. That's old stuff.
Yes, I'd like to do that with my garage. Just put it in a dumpster and get rid of it.
Yeah, clean out the garage day. Old, our key word in today's pop quiz, and we have Chris playing along with us. He'll have the
Hi, Chris.
traffic
Good morning.
conditions that we can expect with construction around the area. Okay, here's the first question. 1972's Old Man is a song written and performed by guitarist Neil Young, a single which features lyrics that compares a young man's life to that of an older man's. Accompanying Neil on this recording is James Taylor on 6-string banjo, But who's the female supplying background vocals
goodness.
on Neil Young's Old Man? We're playing in the background. We'll bring it up in just a bit. But is it A, Carly Simon, B, Emmylou Harris, or C, Linda Ronstadt? Bring it up a little bit. Let's listen.
Oh, I love this song.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I know the song, I know everybody who's singing it, until that last line, the
Okay.
female supplying the background vocals.
I'll take a guess.
Good Lord, I'm gonna go Carly Simon.
A, okay. And Chris has
maybe
got A
it's
too. He's going with Carly.
Maybe it's Linda Ronstadt.
Got a B, a C, and a C. 2 C's in the front. The C's got it right. Yeah, Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, that was my second guess.
Yes.
Or so.
Very good,
Gosh,
guys.
Good job.
Next question regarding old. In a farewell address to Congress on April 19th, 1951, this Army general was quoted as saying, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away." What is the name of this United States Army general who uttered those words almost 75 years ago?
goodness me.
A, Douglas MacArthur. B, Dwight Eisenhower. C, George Patton. Back to the guys in the control room.
A
Who
lot
could
of
it be?
chin scratching in there, I see.
Old
I've got the
soldiers
same
never
thing
die.
going on out here.
They just fade away. C, A.
Oh, Rico's
C's an A.
going big.
And
What about
Chris?
Chris? What do you think? C?
Let's bring up the answer.
Oh, Rico! Nice work in there.
100% for Rico,
Douglas
yeah.
MacArthur. Wow.
Okay.
Who would have thought?
Yes. Stay young. Back in a bit.
Now, connecting the Valley, this is NBC Palm Springs at 6.
Welcome back on this Monday, March 2nd. I'm Mary Strong. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll have your AccuWeather forecast in just a few minutes, but first it's time for Know Before You Go, where we tell you about all the major construction projects going on in the Valley for the week so you can avoid getting caught in traffic and know before you go. Joining us live from the CV Sync Traffic Management Center in Thousand Palms once again is Program Manager Chris Gunterson. Chris, good morning to you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
What are some of the areas
Goose
we
egg
should
on
avoid this
hashtag.
week?
Goose tag on hashtag.
A goose egg on hashtags. I know. I'm with you on that. I mean, boy, that's a rough start to a Monday morning.
Well, we got some busy things happening in the desert. We got tennis tournaments, we got construction, we've got new bridges opening up on different sides. So there's a lot happening. We're going to start in Indio today. This is the Jefferson and Indio Boulevard intersection improvements. They're adding a business there on the north side. What's a little bit different now, if you've been driving this area, you'll notice that the eastbound side of Indio Boulevard went down to one lane, and that has really slowed things down if you're getting off the freeway and heading that direction. So definitely give yourself some more time when you're going that way. The other thing we'd ask is the surrounding intersections, especially there at Avenue 42 and Jefferson, is if you're in a lot of traffic there, before you go into the intersection, make sure there's a place for you to go. A lot of people are getting stuck in the intersection, and that blocks the other traffic that can't get through. This project is slated to go through the end of this month, and they'll have it done right before Coachella Fest. And for your alternate routes, you'd want to use Fred Waring east and west, and Washington Street or Monroe to access the freeway. Again, pack your patience going here. There's a lot of traffic. We're in season, so just be patient as you go through there. So next up, we're going to talk about the tennis tournament. So we've got a lot happening out there. It was a beautiful, beautiful day yesterday, and today is going to be gorgeous. What you need to be concerned with is the southbound Washington lanes. Particularly the outside lane is going to get busy, especially during what they call ingress or when the traffic's coming into the event. The other part is Highway 111 there as you're making your left-hand turn. The crunch times for this is going to be between 9:30 and 12:30. So 9:30 in the morning, 12:30 in the afternoon. That's when they're getting everybody in. And also there's an overlap when the day session ends and the evening session begins. And that's usually between about 4:40, 4:45 to around 6 p.m. This is all based on match play. So if something goes long or finishes early, that could change. So just be ready to adjust your times there. But we'll be monitoring everything. We've got a lot going on there. So our teams, we actually have Armando in the office early this morning doing some prep. Ooh, bird just hit the window there. Sorry about that. And a couple things that I was notified over the weekend. The bridge project on South Palm Canyon over there, they were supposed to switch traffic last Wednesday. They're actually doing it today. So if you're driving through that area, you will see the traffic flip to the other side of the bridge. A lot of traffic control out there, a little bit different traffic pattern. So be careful going through there. If you wanted to avoid that, use Bellardo Road. Sunny Dunes and Mesquite will get you up to Bellardo Road, but they're flipping that over. A lot happening in the desert. Safety tip for the day is slow down, plan ahead, take your time, and by all means, stay off the phone.
Some great advice. Thank you so much, Chris. I hope you have a great day today and a great week, and we'll see you on Monday.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great week, everyone.
The U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran are expected to have an impact on oil prices, with oil futures surging in the first trade since the attacks began over the weekend. U.S. crude rose about $8 a barrel, or 12%, to around $75 a barrel. Brent crude, the international benchmark, jumped more than 12% to about $82 a barrel. And stock futures fell sharply, with the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ down about 1%. Analysts say gas prices could rise more than 25 cents a gallon because of the Middle East conflict. Instagram is taking action to help prevent potential self-harm among children. The platform says it will notify parents if their children are found to have repeatedly looked for information related to suicide. In a statement, Instagram's owner, Meta, said these alerts are, quote, designed to give parents the information they need to support their teen. Users have to opt in to be eligible for the alerts, which are expected to start next week in the U.S., Britain, Australia, and Canada. This comes as Meta is defending itself in trials where their platforms are alleged to have caused harm to young users. Instagram says its platform is not clinically addictive. A Colorado man is one of many people across the country currently caught up and confused by tariffs after he ordered a single hubcap online. The Loveland man was slapped with a tariff bill nearly as high as the cost of the item. Reporter Steve Stagger has more on the story.
My granddaughter is taking over my son's car, and I wanted it to look nice.
Paul Pollock is in the running for Grandpa of the Year.
It was missing hubcaps, so I needed to buy one.
A race that is costing him.
It was rather expensive, but I thought it's brand new.
The new hubcap for the 22-year-old car was $67 through an eBay seller in the UK. But it wasn't the cost that made him wince, nor the $40 that he paid in shipping.
After about 2 weeks, I received a letter from FedEx.
It was the tariff bill.
Customs and Border Patrol has imposed another $46 or $48 tax on that import.
FedEx is asking Paul to reimburse them for the $41.88 tariff, plus a $4.50 fee. That number comes from a long list of tariffs.
One of them's 2.5%. One of them is 10%. Another one is 25%.
Those tariffs include a 10% reciprocal tariff with the UK, 25% for a passenger car part, and another 25% for a medium-heavy car part.
It's just a regular Audi. It's not a big car.
I think he's been pretty severely overcharged.
Keith Maskus is a retired economics professor from CU, who notably was the chief economist for the U.S. State Department from 2016 to 2017. He says a 62.5% tariff on an item like this makes absolutely no sense.
There's no tariff in the United States on products in the UK that would be that high.
He says the recent changes to trade policy might be sparking confusion.
The first thing you should do is write a letter to FedEx and say, I think you've misstated these tariffs, because just look at it. You're charging me a 62% tariff.
Paul worries about that.
I'm afraid if I contest this, because they give you an online form and they tell you, if you contest this and we find we're not at fault, which they probably will, and I would be liable for that $150 fee.
So this helpful grandpa is left with a tough decision.
Where it leaves me, and I'll bet a million other people like me, when you order something from abroad, you're not going to buy it. That's it.
And that was reporter Steve Stagger. In a statement, FedEx said they'll look into Paul's case. The global company is also suing the federal government for a refund of tariffs after they were recently ruled unconstitutional by the U.S. Supreme Court. It's time now for Your Health Today, brought to you by Inland Empire Health Plan. President Trump signed an executive order this month to protect the national supply of glyphosate. It's a widely used herbicide. The decision inflamed many advocates of the Make America Healthy Again movement, who have pressed for more stringent regulation or even bans of those products. But what does science say? Maribel Gonzalez breaks down the debate.
Glyphosate is at the center of debate after President Donald Trump signed an executive order to protect the national supply of the herbicide, while medical experts urge caution over its use.
It is applied to corn, to soybeans, to a whole range of crops that make their way into foods that Americans eat.
Dr. Philip Landrigan is a pediatrician and a professor at Boston College. He says children can be the most vulnerable.
Glyphosate is a known hazard to public health, and as a pediatrician, it really concerns me to see this chemical coming through in foods like corn that make their way into breakfast cereals.
In 2015, the World Health Organization classified glyphosate as a probable carcinogen. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and the European Union's Food Safety Authority have not found a link to cancer. Still, some, like Moms Across America, a nonprofit that largely supports the administration's health agenda, are advocating for glyphosate bans.
Seeing the science behind glyphosate pointing to the direction that it should be banned, at least restricted.
Experts say you can limit exposure, both in the foods you eat.
People who eat a mainly organic diet have 90% lower levels of pesticide chemicals in their bodies.
And at home.
I would much rather have a few dandelions or other weeds in my yard than expose my child to a chemical that has the probability of causing cancer.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Well, up next, the Screen Actors Guild held their award show last night. David Daniel will have all the highlights for you. Let's head over to Jerry in the Weather Center for a look at what's ahead in your forecast. Hi, Jerry.
Yeah, we have above normal temps, but first let's talk about the lunar eclipse. It happens tonight, technically early Tuesday morning. Here are the times. It all begins just before 3 a.m., but if you want to check it out, maybe a darker full moon, it's around 4:30 tomorrow morning. And it all comes to an end just around sunrise. Full forecast for the Valley next. Any snow left up at the tram? Not a whole heck of a lot. A lot of ground up there too, but yeah, smattering of snow on the ground that's left over, all stomped. Yesterday we had above normal numbers. That's one of the reasons the snow is melting up at the tram. 95 degrees, a record high yesterday in Palm Springs. 93 was the old record set back in 2022, and we had several record high temps this week. Well, 3 total. We had 96 degrees on the last day of the month of February in Palm Springs, 95 Wednesday of last week. And you can see that whole week was quite above normal with those numbers. We're going to be above normal, but not in the 90s. Most of us just below that mark. A lot of 70s right now in the Coachella Valley, although 63 degrees at Palm Springs. Winds not really an issue right now, under 10 miles an hour, but that will pick up later today thanks to a frontal boundary moving through the southwest. We're getting some clouds because of that, but all fair weather high clouds, no rain expected underneath any of those cloud bands moving through the area. Radar quiet over the southwest. Here's a trough. It begins to fade away as it moves through the area. Again, it'll kick up the winds in the wind-prone areas a little later on today. It'll be out of the west. Any rain stays to the north. The ensemble forecast agrees. Nothing for us here. Any precipitation stays well to the north, and that's widely scattered. But winds will be an issue, especially around the San Gorgonio Pass. Low 30-mile-an-hour sustained winds, 20-mile-an-hour sustained winds occasionally later today. And because of that, we have an air quality alert. Dust and dirt being kicked up in the air today. That expires tomorrow morning. Surface moisture remains dry. No big changes there. We'll see relative humidity at around 10 to 15% in the area. High temps still above normal. No 90s today, but we will be in the upper 80s, which is still a dozen degrees above normal. Overnight lows in the 50s tonight under mostly clear skies. Again, good viewing for the lunar eclipse tonight. 86 to 90 degrees, our range of highs tomorrow. But we get a wind shift that'll be out of the northeast, keeping us on the dry side. A lot of middle to upper 80s on Tuesday and again on Wednesday. Things change after that. Thursday, another trough moves through the area. Rain, yeah, minimal at best, maybe a couple light showers, but down to the south and west of us, nothing for the Coachella Valley. Temps come down a little bit, though, as that front moves through late Wednesday into Thursday. So instead of 80s today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, we'll see some upper 70s Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Back to the 80s Sunday of next week.
Coming up here on Today, breaking news in the Middle East, the U.S. military launching more punishing strikes on Iran as more nations are drawn into the fight. And overnight, dramatic video of a U.S. warplane plunging out of the sky as the global markets react and oil prices surge. We're following all of it this morning on Today.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the Deal Guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. Be sure not to miss anything. If you're only watching us on TV, you're only getting part of the story. Head to our new website for the latest broadcasts, digital exclusive content, contests, and more. Go to NBCPalmSprings.com.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
SAG-AFTRA, the Screen Actors Guild, changed the name of its honors this year to the Actor Awards to emphasize that it's the only industry honor given solely to actors by actors. David Daniel has the highlights from this year's awards show.
This year, the show got a little bit of a facelift. Like many people in this room can understand, we nipped the SAG.
SAG-AFTRA's annual awards had a new name, but a familiar host in Kristen Bell and familiar gratitude for winners honored by their peers.
I love being an actor. I love actors. Working with you, playing with you, and when necessary, marching alongside of you has been the greatest joy of my life.
Honoree Noah Wiley returned to the stage with the cast of The Pit to accept the award for Best TV Drama Ensemble. Seth Rogen topped that, taking the podium 3 times as the studio won Best TV Comedy Ensemble, and he accepted individual honors for himself and the late Catherine O'Hara.
She really showed that you can be a genius and be kind, and one of those things does not have to come at the expense of the other.
Harrison Ford received a Life Achievement Award.
Thank you to SAG-AFTRA for honoring me with this prize. This is very encouraging.
I wasn't expecting this, but it does really mean a lot to me from my peers.
Film honorees included Amy Madigan for Weapons.
To work with my heart in my hand and stand beside my brilliant, daring friends who show me their heart. I mean, what a way to spend a life. Thank you.
Jessie Buckley for Hamnet.
This ride has been unbelievable, so thank you for welcoming me in and making me feel seen.
And Michael B. Jordan, who retook the stage with his Sinners cast to accept Best Motion Picture Ensemble.
From the bottom of our hearts to the bottom of your hearts, thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
If you'd like more information on our stories this morning, you can head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com. We've got our newsroom tab where you're going to find our stories and community events organized by date. We'll be right back with a recap of your forecast and your top local headlines. Stay right here.
Missed the news yesterday? Well, don't worry. You can watch the latest stories and even original news programming over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Every morning at 6 a.m., Jerry and I are here to help you start your day informed and connected. And after our newscast, I head out into our community to listen and bring you the stories that truly impact our lives here in the Valley so that your voice is heard.
You're watching our digital live stream. For the latest news and updates on developing stories, head over to our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Don't miss our digital exclusive content. Me on a Plate. Talking with Thalia. Kai, the Deal Guy. And Desert Entertainment with Todd. Only on NBCPalmSprings.com.
News isn't all we do. We have a wide variety of original programming for you to enjoy over on our website, NBCPalmSprings.com.
Successful wildlife projects are happening all across the Salton Sea. And in the middle of these restoration efforts, lithium enters the equation. Dive into the delicate balance of nature and the emerging Lithium Valley, streaming on NBCPalmSprings.com.
Worried about missing a broadcast? Don't worry. We stream just about everywhere from Instagram to YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course our website.
And here's a quick recap of your top local stories. Authorities continue to investigate a fatal shooting in Palm Springs that killed 2 people and injured 3 others over the weekend. It happened Saturday off North Indian Canyon Drive. Officers with Palm Springs Police found 2 unidentified adult victims with gunshot wounds who both died after being transported to an area hospital. Investigators say a motorcycle club was hosting a private event at an industrial complex when an altercation broke out, leading to gunfire. If you have any information, you're asked to call the number you see right here on your screen. California Care Force hosted its 17th annual health clinic at the Empire Polo Grounds in Indio over the weekend. The event was in partnership with Golden Voice and offered free dental, vision, and medical services to thousands of Coachella Valley residents. The BNP Paribas Open is underway at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The 2-week tournament started yesterday with the women's qualifying event. The men's qualifying starts this morning with the first round of tournament play expected on Wednesday. We'll have more coverage of the BNP coming up this week, so stay tuned for all our coverage there.
Love the tennis games.
Yes.
At the Tennis Garden.
And I would say for most of the players, they're probably thinking, wow, this is a pretty toasty BNP.
Yeah, a little warmer than normal, definitely, over the next couple of afternoons. Plenty of sunshine, some fair weather high clouds as the frontal boundary moves through the area. But keep in mind, it'll kick up the winds a little bit today with those mid to upper 80s this afternoon. We'll see mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Again, upper 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. But the numbers do go down as the winds back off, too. Keep in mind, though, that the 78s you see there are still above normal by a couple degrees.
Wow.
But still nicer.
Yeah, pretty nice.
We'll take that.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We've got more news coming your way at 11 for your midday news, and we hope you go out and make it a great Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 6.